Do you still light your cooker with an old-fashioned match? Now's the time to put an end to that.
This is the new age of high-speed gas.
60 years on, and it's no longer natural gas that's the exciting, clean-burning fuel of the future. Instead, it's hydrogen making those claims. But can we believe the hype? In 1967, the first natural gas from the North Sea was brought into the UK, kick-starting a 10-year switchover from coal gas, also called town gas, over to this high-speed gas. This nationwide operation required an army of gasmen to convert over 20 million appliances to run on this new, cleaner fuel. Flash forward 50 years, and we now know this miracle fuel is responsible for a big chunk of carbon emissions. So gas companies are suggesting we switch over again, from natural gas to hydrogen. And Cadent, along with Northern Gas Networks, have built a whole house to demonstrate this experimental technology. You wouldn't know the difference here. The flame is a slightly different colour, but otherwise the hydrogen cooks and heats exactly like natural gas. And that's the main attraction for consumers.
They are basically designed and engineered to be exactly the same as your natural gas boiler, so they are installed in the exact same way. I believe the maintenance is very, very similar, and your user experience will be the same as a natural gas boiler.
At the moment, we don't know how much hydrogen will cost. However, the 4 big boiler manufacturers have promised that hydrogen-ready boilers, when they're brought up to scale, will cost no more than the existing natural gas boilers. On the supply side, researchers are confident that they could easily pump hydrogen through the existing infrastructure, because we've done it before.
Town's gas was actually 50% hydrogen anyway, and the majority of our network hasn't changed since the 60s. We just need to make doubly sure that we're happy with our network receiving 100% hydrogen.
In practical terms, this would mean a great 2-part switchover, a little bit like the 70s. First of all, natural gas only boilers would stop being sold, so that when your existing boiler broke down, you'd need to buy a hydrogen ready boiler. Now, to start with, these would run on the existing natural gas supply. Then, when the local network moved to hydrogen, engineers would simply adjust the boilers in the area to burn hydrogen. So if they're so similar, why is hydrogen better than natural gas? When hydrogen burns in pure oxygen, it only produces water vapour and heat. However, when the hydrocarbons like methane in natural gas burn in oxygen, they also produce carbon dioxide. In fact, they produce so much that 17% of our carbon emissions come from heating homes. However, unlike electrical boilers, burning hydrogen in air will still produce nitrogen oxides, a major contributor to urban air pollution and climate change. So if we did switch to hydrogen, where would we get it all from? Now, hydrogen is often referred to by colours to explain how it's made. So let's meet the top dogs. Meet Mr. Green Hydrogen. He comes from electrolysis powered by renewable electricity. That means it can be carbon neutral, but for now, he's the most expensive. Mr. Pink Hydrogen, he does the same electrolysis, but powered by nuclear energy. Not renewable, but a whole lot less carbon than gas. Mr. Grey Hydrogen, he's a bad un. He reforms natural gas to make hydrogen, but releases a load of carbon dioxide in the process. He's actually the way most hydrogen is produced today. Then Mr. Blue Hydrogen. Same as Mr. Grey, but he captures that CO2 before it goes into the atmosphere. Hang on a minute. Those seem to rely on a lot of natural gas. No wonder then that some of the biggest backers of a hydrogen future are actually the gas companies. They claim that capturing the CO2 can reduce the harm. But that doesn't stop blue hydrogen from being non-renewable and reliant on there being somewhere to store millions of tons of carbon dioxide. Today, only a tiny proportion of all of hydrogen's production is green hydrogen. So until we massively ramp up the amount of renewable electricity generation, carbon capture and storage is probably the least worst option. We desperately need to find a way to heat our homes in a carbon neutral way. Hydrogen is just one of many options alongside heat pumps or electrical heating. Projects like the Hydrogen Home are great pieces of research, but the government isn't set to make a policy decision until 2026. Only time will tell if the easy turn on and off ability of a hydrogen switch is worth the downsides, or if cooking and heating our homes with gas is an idea best left in the 60s. Fun fact, when natural gas was first introduced, one woman reportedly complained that it made her food taste bland. It turns out that she'd stopped adding salt because she believed that the North Sea gas would make her food salty enough. For more sensible advice, sign up to the free Which sustainability newsletter.